The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
So we are online. Yes, it's time for the next webinar. This webinar is called Pandoras Box Manager Splits and Virtual Sites. Welcome, attendees. So, my name is Yvonne, and I will give you an introduction how to use the splitter tool in Pandoras Box and how to create and how using a virtual site. Okay, before I start, I would like to give you some general information about the webinar. This webinar will be recorded and uploaded on our YouTube channel, Pandoras Box Learn. So all webinars can be found in this channel. And the link for that can be found in the forum, and my colleague Mike is also here. He will add the link in the chat. Mike, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hello, everyone.
Welcome, Mike. So, Mike will answer all of your questions today. So you have a chat in the webinar tool to ask questions, and Mike will answer them. And of course, I will give my best as well. Okay.
Thank you.
So now, what do we have to expect from this webinar today? Okay, the first one is how to use the Pandoras Box splitter tool. And the important question is why splitting content files? So we have, let's say you have a show with a huge screen or a very large projection, and you know the content file contains thousands of pixels. Then you know, okay, please wait. Let's check the performance of the system. Maybe I have to split the files. And last but not least, a virtual site. How to create a virtual site in Pandoras Box and what is a virtual site. So let's start with the splitter tool. Splitting one big master file into several smaller split files. This tool is designed exactly for that. So you have one huge master file and you can split it into pieces. Huge resolutions, like I said before, you have big screens, many projectors, and important as well, you have to know the total image resolution beforehand. Okay, so where can you start this application? There are two ways. First is via the PB menu here on the left side. You go for tools, and here in the bottom you can see the splitter tool, provided that you have selected under the configuration the Pandoras Box version before. The second option is to go for the Pandoras Box master application. Here in this example, I added the Manager Unlimited version 6.4.0, so the last official version, and you go under Tools, Splitter. So PB menu or PB master application. Some more information. You can only import image sequences or still images like bitmap, DDS, JPEG, TIFF, TGA, or PNG. So it's not possible to load video files, only image sequences. On the other side, yes, you can export video files like MPEG or AVI video files and image sequences as well. Any questions so far, Mike? Mike,
no, there are no questions so far. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Our task today is we have a huge projection with 6 projectors, so 6 outputs with overlap. Here on the left side, you can see a test pattern with a total image resolution like 4800 by 1800 pixels. So many pixels. And each output resolution is 9020 by 1080. So we have our first output there, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. 6 outputs. Okay. Now I would say we go to the splitter tool and I explain how to split this test pattern into several pieces. Okay, here we are, the splitter tool. Please remember, via PB menu or master application, you can launch the splitter tool. Here you can see the interface. Per default, the resolution is 9020x1080. I would say we should import our test pattern file. Here on top, under File, you have some options. Load image sequence or load still image. For today, I go for load still image. The Windows Explorer appears, and here is my test pattern. Select it and open. Wonderful. Of course, you can zoom in and out here on top in the drop-down list. I would say 25% is much better. So, in the left corner here, now we have the total image resolution, and behind it we have a value for the frame number. So it's a still image, we have only one frame. If you're using an image sequence, you will see here the related frame number. Okay, so we have loaded the master file, and now we should find out how to create our output regions. So we need 6 output regions. How can we create them? Make a right click in the background with the mouse, and here you have some options. Create region. It starts with the custom size. In our case, we have a standard resolution, so I go for 9020x1080. Select it, and the cross icon appears. Left mouse click creates our region. So on top left, you find some modes. So here we are in the create region mode. You have the move region mode and the drag view. Let's go for the move region. So I have the possibility to move the region or to move the whole view. Okay. Of course, there's a shortcut here, right mouse click, create region, move, drag. Same options. So now we could try to find the exact pixel size by moving this rectangle, but that's not really precise. Please have a look on top. Here are some options, some useful options. So I have created my first region. It's automatically named output 0 and the name as well. If you like, you can rename it. The X position is here and the Y position there. The width and height. So what kind of values for X and Y do we need for the first region? In the splitter tool, we are using a coordinate system. So the 0 point is here in the left upper corner, and from here is a positive x-axis to that direction and a positive y-axis to that direction. That means the starting point is 0, 0. Here we are. And let's go for the next region. Same as before, right click, create region, 9020x1080. Okay, so please remember we have an overlap. I have calculated the blending with 25% before. So I know, okay, the X position is placed 1440 pixel. Y position is the same. And next for the third one, it's 2880 and 0 position. Here we are. So we have created our first alignment for the first horizontal row. Okay, now we need the second row. Same create region. And the X position is in the beginning 0 and the Y position calculated before 720. So fours, same as before, 720, and last but not least, our last region. So, okay, and we are finished. Any questions so far?
Yes, there's one question for you.
Okay.
Is there a faster way or easier way to align the outputs?
Ah, yeah. Very good question. That was exactly planned for the next step. Yeah, there is a faster way. Thank you, Mike. Now I clear all my outputs to show you the faster way. Okay, right click in the background, clear all outputs. Okay, all changes are lost. Have a look on top here under edit. Here are some more options. For example, align output to fit screen would mean if you have a hard edge, so just screens, for example, we need the option align outputs with overlap. So a window appears. Let's check what we have to enter now. So this start position 0, 0, yes, fine. The output resolution 9020 by 1080, also fine. And now the mode, horizontal alignment. So you can decide. You can start from left to right for the first row and then the second row left to right, or you choose the vertical alignment from up to bottom and the second one as well and the third one as well. I decide I will go for the horizontal alignment, and I need 3 output regions. 25% overlap, yes, okay, align. So here we are, beautiful. For the next row, I go back to edit, align outputs with overlap, and let's check the start position. So start position X is the same. Why not? It starts from 720. 90, 20, 10, 80, horizontal alignment, and count is 3, 25%. Okay, so that was really fast. Now we have defined our output regions. What's next? Okay, now I would like to export it. My image is a PNG file, so I can say, okay, I rendered the split files in PNG as well, or here on top in the drop-down list I have the option to convert it again. So I go for DDS, for example. There's no alpha included, so RGB is fine. DDS. Let's go to File and export image sequence. Yes, don't be surprised. Yes, I know we have a still image, but there is image sequence. It's the same button for image sequence and still image. So export image sequence. Then you need to select an output folder. I have created an empty folder before, so it's named split files. Okay, a small window appears. You can enter start and last frame. So we have a still image, we are fine. Okay, exporting image sequence processed and completed. let's check our result. So I open the File Explorer, split files, ta-da! We have different folders for each region, and let's check output 0. Yes, our first split file. Let's check the properties. It's a DDS image file N90201080. So everything seems to be fine.
Yvonne?
Yes?
Sorry to interrupt you. There's a question. How do you know what values to put in the X and Y coordinates? Can you show how you calculated the values you put in there at the top?
Yeah, so I can. So I
Just
have,
an example. Or...
yeah, an example. So if you have the width 9020 and you take 25%, then you will get 480 pixel. And if you subtract it, then you will get the X position, for example. So you only need to do percent calculation.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. The next one. Let's go back to my presentation. Okay. Let's summarize the workflow. So, first step was loading the master file. Second one was creating our output regions and adjusting the output regions, so X and Y position. After that, export the split files and saving the current project. Aha, okay. We should go back if we want to save our setting. So I am finished. File, save settings. So if you know you will have the same setting on a different show, you can save the setting and load it again. So save it. It is an VSP file, and I enter webinar test. Okay, save. So let's clear all outputs to test if it was working fine. Load settings, webinar test, and here we are again. Okay. So any questions? No?
No, no more questions so far.
Okay. Now I would like to change to my Pandoras Box application. So I have prepared a project in my manager license. So I have added 3 devices, and I have also renamed it for left, middle, and right. So left is in red, the middle in blue, and the right in green. Okay, let's open it. Okay, so my camera alignment. And the first view shows the total image resolution. And each server machine rendered out the total image. So imagine you have an image sequence in the same resolution, and maybe you would like to fade into another image sequence with the same resolution. Then it requires much performance of your system. So that's the reason why we go for split files, to save performance. So if I jump to the split files, so I've added here for the left side my split files, and for the middle and right. Maybe you also need some more files here because of the blending. Don't forget it. So I change here layer X. You see here is my split file. Okay. And one important thing is I have added the content to my project tab. You find it here, all my split files. And remember, if you start a new Pandoras Box application, all resources will spread it automatically to each machine. Okay, so each split file will be spreaded to server 1, 2, and 3. But server 3 maybe do not need the first output file, so on the left side. Please be careful. You can change it under the configuration Global Resources here. There's the checkbox Auto Spread Resources after adding to project. This checkbox is enabled after starting Pandoras Box. So either you deselect it, drag your content from the Assets tab to the Project tab, and then you decide it separately. So you make a right click, spread all resources to a dedicated Pandoras Box machine. Or you enable the auto spread function again, and before you add the content, you can create some folders, some helpful folders. For example, the left side. So here I will store all my resources for the left side. I select the folder and have a look here in the inspector. Here is a setting restrict spread to sites. And here you can see all sites are selected. So here now I could deselect local if, so provided you do not want to have a manager preview, middle and right. So, and if I select my content here and drag it to my project tab, the content will only be spreaded to the left server machine. So, and here in my presentation, yes, a warning message. Be careful. Please check the spreading setting in the configuration tab under Global Resources, Inspector Settings, Restrict Spread Sites. Why do you need to be careful? Because of the storage capacity. Yeah, so imagine you have huge image sequences in a huge resolution. You will need much space to save all your content. So if one of the related server do not need the content, then be careful with spreading. Okay. Questions so far?
No questions right now.
Okay, thanks. So, our example in Pandoras Box. So, these splitting files allow a good performance and capacity. So, you can playback much more HD files, for example, instead of one huge file with thousands of pixels. And then you get the best performance out of your system. So you have a native playback of video content of nearly any size. Yes, and the last point, very important, the performance specs for our Pandoras Box server and player machines, because you have to know which file in which resolution and how many files can be played back from the machine. And then after that, I know it, I can decide, do I need to split the files or can I use the huge file? And where can the performance specs be found? You can find it on our website, Tools, in our download center under technical documents. The link will also be placed in the end of my presentation. So you have here technical documents and a list of performance specs. Very useful. Okay. Now.
Yes, sorry to interrupt you. There was another question coming in for the splitter.
Yes.
Is there a maximum resolution for image sequences that can be imported?
Yeah. Good question. Yes, you yes, there is a limitation, but so the limitation is 65,000 pixel by 65,000 pixels. So yes, you are very flexible.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, let's go back to my Pandora's Box project. 1 second. So here we are. Okay, now I would like to program a movement with a picture-in-picture from the left to the right side. So I take a test pattern file, for example, color bars, and place it here on layer 17. Scale it a little bit down and move it from left to the right side. Yeah, seems to be fine. But no, it's not. Have a look in the preview here on top. I changed my preview now, my preview number. So. And I have enabled here output number 1 and 2 for the left side, output 1 and 2 middle, output 1 and 2 for the right side. So here I can see my real output. So what will be displayed on my screen, on my projector, whatever. And here I add my all cameras view. So again, I change the picture-in-picture movement. That was the one. It's layer 17. Okay, from left to right. And what can you see? My picture-in-picture disappears. It's not there anymore, but it's in the preview. Why? It's very easy to explain. Have a look back into our sequence. And you can see my color bar test pattern is placed only on server number 1. That means we have to place it on server 2 and the third one as well, so middle and right, because it's not seen from the cameras. And now imagine you have a big project and you have to program many things inside. Then you would program it for the first side, for the second side, the third, and so on. So it is a lot of work. That's the reason why Pandora's Box has a really nice feature for that. Virtual sites. So virtual sites combine the same device types to one virtual site together. So I prepared something in my presentation for that. Here, virtual site. Same device types can be combined to one virtual site because it's more comfortable. So where and how can I do it? So select my sites, make a right click and create the virtual site. So I would say, let's try it out. Okay, select left, middle and right. I can use the shift key to mark my sites. A right click with the mouse, create virtual site. And now, please be careful and read the pop-up window. Yes, I've also prepared something in my presentation for that because it's very important. Please read pop-up window before creating a virtual site when you programmed something before, because if you create a virtual site, then all your programming will be lost and the deletion cannot be undone. So you create a virtual site, all changes are lost and you never come back, or you have saved it before, of course. Yes, let's try it out. Okay, and you see here I have a new site with the ID number 5, open it, and you see no programming, nothing. So if you like, you can rename it, right click, rename, virtual site. Okay. I have prepared a second Pandoras Box project for the virtual site. Under File, open recent, virtual site. No. Okay, let's go to one preview view and all cameras. Here we are. Same setup. I close the local node and the site node opens. So here we are. The virtual site. Here's my camera alignment. One step to the master file. So same look. Imagine you would have image sequence and you need split files like here. Okay. So here is my first one, for example. Okay, let's go back to 0. So you have a much nicer overview with only one virtual site instead of 3, for example. And let's create it again with my picture-in-picture color bars and scale it a little bit down, move it from left to right. Ah, yeah. I should change my view. Okay, here we are. So first server, second, and third, from left to right. Aha, so now it's here for all server machines. It will be rendered out on all machines. The question is now, can we save more performance? Yes, we can. You can route the layer to a specific camera output. So you can here select, for example, layer 1, have a look here in the inspector tab, and you have a list of all cameras which are used in the virtual site. So, and I would say server number 1 do not need the content from server number 3. So then for the first server, I deselect the last ones for the split content files. And therefore you would save performance again. So splitting content files, very nice, and route your content to a specific camera. So now if I would move it here to the right server machine, you do not see it. Here, I changed the that order because it's behind. So you can see it here in the middle, but not on the right anymore. Because the first split file is not needed on the right server machine. Yes. Questions, Mike?
No more questions,
Okay.
but can you maybe try to disable your camera? The audio is sometimes dropping out a bit.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Better?
Yeah, I would just continue. We will see if it's better now.
Okay. All right. All right, thanks. Yes, virtual sites. And yes, some more information. If you would like to see what is inside of the virtual site, so how many devices are stored, you select the virtual site, open the inspector, open a virtual site tab, will give you a list of the devices which are stored in it. So I have renamed it before in left, middle, and right. So the left one selected, and you have some information. So I didn't enter IP address before, so because of that it's 0. I have a type, Pandoras Box server dual, and the rest of the information for site. So it was virtual site, inspector, open, and virtual site tab. Yes. Okay. Yes. Please never forget to read pop-up windows. Okay. And yeah, I think we are at the end of this presentation. I have some useful infos and links for you. So Pandoras Box Learn channel on YouTube, so you can watch all webinars. In our Pandoras Box forum, we have a new topic webinar where you can add your ideas for a next topic and yes, some discussions about our webinars. Please feel free to add some ideas. And the webinar schedule is also placed on our website and on Facebook as well. Help file, always very helpful, is in under the support tab. And the performance sheets I have explained before in our download center, and here you can find the link. Yes. So I hope you had enjoyed this webinar. Thanks for watching, and yeah, stay healthy. If you have questions, I will wait for some minutes here.
Thank you also from my side. I also posted the links now in the chat, so if you can also find now the links Yvonne just showed you in the chat now.
Thank you, Mike. So I think there are no more questions. I would say goodbye and have a nice weekend. See you soon.